Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the SlyDog Season 3 live driver reveal and team announcements. Very tense music going on in the showroom, as you can hear, because this is a tense moment. There's people everywhere waiting to see what happens. As always, we've got Aaron with us as well. Aaron, can you hear me?
I can. I assume you probably just heard me chucking loads of stuff around the living room. It's, it's
what are you doing, man?
Cracking start.
You chucking out treats for the dog?
Oh, no, he's had treats. I'm just chucking my phone around for some very bizarre reason.
You do you.
Don't ask why. Just am.
Alright, calm down, pipe down, big one. So yeah, we're going to be going through a couple of points for next season in this video, and also just going through some talking points from last night's races and the races previous in this season as well. But the main feature here will obviously be revealing the teammates for next season and what cars they will be driving. Obviously the cars are all equal performance, but we all know look good, feel good, race good. You want to be in a nice livery.
Oh, so yeah. I mean, in the racing we're doing, obviously it's all equal performance as such. So it's all about the livery, really, isn't it? Everyone wants that nice livery car. But then I guess that's all down to opinion. So we shall see.
Yes. So on the screen at the moment, we've got one of my favourite looking cars. We've got the Renault from Fernando Alonso's title-winning season, just gracing us with its presence there. A lot of the views this evening are going to be from this sort of view in the showroom, which I think is a fantastic feature on this game, by the way. Get to look at the classic cars
lovely,
as well.
Isn't it? It works really nicely, I think.
It really does. So we've got to do a bit of digesting from last night as well, of course, with the events that transpired. Obviously, final races of the season, and there was fireworks in that last race. I think it's safe to say, and that's putting it delicately.
Yeah, it was. I think how many drivers did we have finished last night? Was it about 12? I think in the end. Yeah.
Baker's dozen.
So yeah, it was one big. Interesting race, but once again, it was just exciting to watch, wasn't it? It was one of the most exciting races we've seen towards the end of the season, I think. So thoroughly enjoyable, and once again, Abu Dhabi was as well. Obviously, not without its controversy, as I think we discussed between the races last night, Tom. There was obviously a couple of controversial moves in there along the way, but it must be added that I don't think there were any penalties given out last night that had a hand in changing the outcome of the season as such.
No, so no penalties to change the outcome of the season, as you say, Aaron. And the outcome, in case you didn't know already, of course, Granty Boy taking the championship for the drivers, and then the Constructors Championship for Racing Point as well. We were saying last night there was a few battles still to be decided. Mercedes ended up taking that second position in the Constructors Championship quite convincingly in the end, with McLaren taking the third spot. And then in the Drivers' Championship, Chatty Duck managing to hang on to second place there with Liam Mitchell in that final podium position there. So fantastic, well done to those drivers and teams as well. Thank you very much for the entertaining racing, because it's been a joy to watch and a joy to commentate on, and long may it rain.
Oh, definitely. So obviously, to start the evening, let's just have a little look here at the comments. Some of the guys really excited on the comments there, absolutely buzzing. Oh, that's the attitude we like to hear. We've got 10 people watching it, Tom. 10 people, 10 excited people ready to see exactly who they'll be racing for and with for Season 3 of the SlyDog Racing League. But before we do that, I think it's worthwhile just having a little look at the top 10 finishing in the Drivers' Championship. So, obviously, no surprise, Granted Boy finished in first place with a whopping 548 points. Second place goes to Chatty Duck on 276, and that third spot on the podium, Liam Mitchell of Red Bull with 251 points. So then following up in fourth place, we had Albert Dewitt in his Racing Point, followed by B. Wheeler, who made last night. He had another cracking week. He managed to leapfrog James Punt by just 1 point, so he finished on 155. James Punt just behind him on 154 points. So big moment there for B. Wheeler. Joseph Morados, another guy that we've been chatting about the past couple of weeks, Tom, made it into 7th position in the overall drivers' standings, followed by Butters, Osborne in the other Red Bull, and Mogee in the Williams, rounding out the top 10 for the Drivers' Championship. Moving on then to Constructors, we had the Racing Point team finished on a huge 777 points. We saw some cracking racing from those guys this season. And Mercedes, like you said, Tom, they got the job done in the end. 430 points over McLaren's 396. So second place to Mercedes, and that third spot on the podium for the Constructors goes to McLaren. Red Bull then in 4th, Williams 5th, Renault team 6th, Alfa Tauri 7th. Obviously, just going as I roll through this, looking at the results from previous weeks, the Renault team and they leapfrogged both Ferrari and Alfa Tauri last night, so they've once again had a cracking end to the season there. So it went Renault, Alfa Tauri, Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, and the boys in the Haas, both joint on 49 points. But I believe the Alfa Romeos had better results as of last night's race, so therefore they take the 9th spot in the Constructors' Championship.
Yes, so plenty of work to do if you end up in the Haas livery tonight, restoring that great name, especially if you're not a massive Nikita Mazepin fan, which I don't think anyone is. Right, Aaron, are we going to get on with it, buddy?
I think we do, mate. I think this is the moment that the guys have been waiting for. So, without further ado, let's cross over to the modern showroom, Tom.
We're in the modern showroom.
A little tour of that modern showroom. Right.
So, it's actually some pretty good decoration here. We were talking about this earlier, weren't we? They've got
we were.
I'll go back in a second because they've got some brilliant chairs and tables in here, and I'd be proud if this was my showroom. In all honesty, and decorating, perfect.
There's some nice fruit going on in the corner as well. We'll just do when you have a little spin around there.
Yeah, I couldn't quite zoom in on the fruit enough, but the car's in the way, unfortunately. Right, we should probably crack on. So we're going to start with first on the list, as always. It's the Mercedes.
Yep. So it's the boys in the Mercedes, right? So here we go. So the top 10 driver who finished and chose their seat in the Mercedes is the one and only James Punt. And his teammate for the season will be, if I pronounce this correctly, Lanod Cam. So we have James and Lanod in the Mercedes for season 3, so that's going to be an exciting one to watch. What are your thoughts on that one, Tom?
Yeah, interesting. Obviously, we gave Lanod Cam driver of the day yesterday for his efforts in Bahrain short. Finishing the race, you had a good chance. No disrespect, Lanod Cam, but it was a fantastic race for himself, and obviously we saw some great racing from James as well. James as well in the couple of races that we've already been commentating on this season. So I think it would make for a great team and hopefully some competitive racing. And I think it's going to be one of the teams to watch, and they do get to race in a very, very nice looking Merc. I mean, congrats to you guys.
Right, so next up then we have Ferrari. So obviously, this was a team that was last season driven by, let me find my list here, I can't actually remember, it was Joseph Morados and ZGS 23. So we shall see if there's been any change here. So the top 10 driver to choose Ferrari as their team was none other than James's teammate, Chatty Duck.
Ex-teammate.
Well, now ex-teammate, so we could see some great battles there.
All has been forgotten.
So the second place finisher of the season, driving the first seat in the Ferrari, and for company in his second seat, his teammate for the next season of the SlyDog Racing League is Pressing Mixer.
So newcomer to the league in the Ferrari there. Chatted up with a comment, Forza! Fantastic. He's really excited to be getting in that baguette. Not baguette, sorry, ciabatta.
Yeah, that's what we've been. Baguette, Tom. Get your breads right.
Sorry.
I'll let you off. It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. Come on, we're not used to this. We're only conditioned for Mondays and Thursdays. No, fantastic choice there. It's obviously a very sexy looking car. Never won't be a sexy looking car if that makes sense. And obviously we've seen SlyDog have some great races in the Merc and deserved of a second position this year in the championship standings. Be great to see Ferrari back up there when it comes to the Constructors' Championship as well, because I'm sure they will be. And yeah, look forward to seeing some good races from the boys in red.
Right, so moving on to the next car in the showroom. God, we're switching. I wish our sales team would switch these cars around in the showroom as quick as we can tonight, Tom.
They just run around when they see a transfer water, don't they? Just sort of like, oh, sorry, mate. Oh, I need the loo. Oh, no. Shame, isn't it? I've got a customer coming in 10 minutes.
So, the Red Bull, Tom. I like the fact that on the screen now you are currently showing the 2021, the 2022, 2023 livery, all of the liveries for Red Bull in that one picture.
In that one picture, because they're never going to change. They don't need to. To be fair, they don't need to. It's a pretty cracking looking car.
It's a good looking car.
I don't think I'd be tinkering too much. No, but yeah, a bit boring. Come on, Red Bull, shake it up.
Come on, let's get this on the move. So in the Red Bull, it's a big un, boys. It's a big un. We have the champ himself, Granty Boy. He's taking the first seat in the Red Bull. Huge moment there. And for company, his teammate, a recent newcomer to the league, Peter W. So that will be your Red Bull team. Thoughts on that one, Tom?
Yeah, obviously going to be an interesting season for these two drivers. Granty obviously looking for the repeat, and then Peter, a newcomer to the league. It's going to be a bit of pressure on him living up to the expectation, because he's going to be paired with a top driver and he's going to have to try and match the pace and do his bit in the Constructors' Championship. I don't want to pile the pressure on, but just give him my honest opinion. But no, I think he's got a good teammate there, and possibly if he needs any tips or anything, it's probably the guy to go to, considering how dominant he was in the league this year. So fantastic. Yeah, no, it's a great looking car, and I think these boys are going to do it proud.
Wonderful. So next on the list then, I believe it's the McLaren, which is once again, that's a great looking car on the grid, isn't it? That really is a good looking machine.
It is, but I don't think they've done enough from this year to last year. Obviously they had their team launch a couple of weeks ago, didn't they? And
yeah, I think it's
all
which is a bit of a shame, but you just can't knock that orange and light blue. That is a good combination right there.
With the rainbow as well.
Oh yeah. That's it's just a great car.
Added style
really
points.
Nice car. Added style points there. So the Renault-powered McLaren will be driven in season 3 by the first driver. He's a top 10 finisher. Our final of the podium finishers. NUFC fan Liam will be taking seat number 1 in the McLaren this season, and his partner in crime this time round is going to be D. Lawson. So once again, a good pairing there.
Strong lineup, yeah. Obviously, we saw. I think it was Lawson a couple of times leading the races. I think it might have even been in Russia at some point when we were commentating. And
Sochi,
yeah, capable of putting himself up there. And we've seen NUFC finally and pull off some great moves around the track, and fighting for that podium position in the Constructors' Championship as well. And I think it's going to be a fun year for those guys. And hopefully they can do this rather nice looking car proud.
Yeah, so I think that's a fair point. I think it's going to be a good pairing there. I think these guys are going to get on really well. Obviously, we'll be chatting to most of these guys throughout the course of the next season, from week to week. So it'll be great to hear, in the first few weeks how these partnerships are faring up and how people are getting on there. And I think, judging by what we've revealed so far, in these first 4 team reveals, we're about to reach the halfway mark, and there's some really good partnerships going on here. It's going to make quite an even playing field.
Yeah, I think that's what we're looking for with this new format. Obviously, drawing the top 10 drivers against the lower 10. So you don't have two drivers in the top 10 just ruining it week in, week out, and it does create a little bit more competition for the Constructors' Championship. And if there is a driver that's more experienced, partnered up with someone who's maybe got less time playing the game, that's only going to help them. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic way of doing things, and it should lead to even closer and even tighter races. So bring it on.
Definitely. So moving on then, we're up to the Team Renault now. A team that, we saw really, really nice things happening with towards the end of season 2. Like we said, they jumped up a couple of places in the Constructors there, driven wonderfully there by B. Wheeler last night, and Rockstar, who stepped into seat 2 last night, had a cracking evening. So it was good to see those guys doing that car justice. But for the next season, the all-important part of tonight's stream, the Renault team will be driven by none other than Butters as the top 10 finisher, and his teammate for that team will be Trem. So that's once again another good pairing there. I think that's going to be another one to watch. All of them so far, they're all. It's going to be a great even championship so far.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to, as I said, seeing some close races this year. I've got to say though, the Renault livery, why you'd pick it? It's easily the most boring one there, for me.
That's a controversial statement.
I'm going to put it out there. I don't want to kick someone when they're down, but it's not a nice car.
I wholly disagree. I think it's a good-looking car there.
Oh, it's boring.
You know what? I like it. If we're going to get into that sort of debate, for me, I'd have to go. My most boring car has got to be the Williams.
How dare you?
And that's not just because I know you like them. it's not just for that reason. I don't know. The Williams personally, to me, just is slightly more subtle yet boring.
Subtle yet boring. But anyways, fantastic stuff to see these two guys in the boring car.
Yeah. Oh, you bitch. Anyway.
And then we get onto this.
We digress. Now here we go. Mojo on steroids.
It's the car. It's the car you want to be in. In all honesty, if you're picking the livery tonight, in my opinion, it's fantastic.
100%. Look at it. It's a good looking car. That.
Yeah,
it is a good looking car. The Alfa Tauri.
Not just because I'm a Spurs fan and it's navy and white, but it's.
But it shares a lot of things in common with Spurs, Tom. It's got an empty trophy cabinet.
Correct.
That was a harsh blow. I'm not gonna lie.
This is the thing. I have no comeback for you. I can't say anything about it. What do you want? We ain't gonna win a trophy. It's all good.
I get the pure satisfaction out of saying it.
Jose out.
It's the way it's gonna be. But anyway, let's get on. Should we get round to it?
Go for it, man.
Right. So, the top 10 driver who has chosen what me and Tom both would substantially agree is one of the best looking cars on the grid in our personal opinion, and as commentators our opinions are the only ones that matter. So the first driver is going to be B. Wheeler, and he will be partnered up with another racer who has had some really, really decent moves and some decent results, and that's ZGS 23. So that's going to be a good partnership.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you were saying before we started the reveals, Wheeler, one of the guys who was having some great battles on track. Pretty much every race we've seen with James Punt this year, and a very close finish there for those guys in the Drivers' Championship. 1 point in it. Point out as well, that point was our driver of the day vote for him in Canada, so you're welcome. And yeah, ZGS as well, we were keeping an eye on him in a couple of races and looked to have some pace. Maybe did get unlucky with a few incidents in the times we have seen him, but I think he's got a point to prove, and he's got a good teammate backing him up there, and these guys should do well.
Yeah. So swiftly moving on here, we reach yet another great looking car, to be fair. The BWT Racing Point, the current championship winning car, which has obviously not been chosen by Granty Boy, who had the first choice of vehicle.
I can't wait for this car to turn green.
3rd of March, and I think it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening, and it's got to be green. And as we discussed at work, Tom, it's got to be green with that sort of like nice, either yellowy / lime coloured nose, nose tip, a bit Braun-esque, but that sort of Aston Martin GT car feel to that front wing needs to happen. Needs to have those little highlights on it, I think.
Damn straight.
But it's going to be a sexy looking beast, that.
But anyways, we're stuck with this pink mess for now, so you crack on, buddy.
Right, so for season 3, driving what me and Tom referred to yesterday as the pink weapon. No, euphemism intended, but there is. So the first driver in the BWT Racing Point car is none other than your main man, Albert Dewitt. And he'll be partnered up by Nick, who last season was an Alfa Romeo driver. So Nick will be driving the BWT Racing Point alongside Albert. That'll be an interesting pairing again as well. I think Albert was looking super quick there. Had an unfortunate result yesterday in Bahrain though.
Yeah, DNF in Bahrain, tough, and we saw the incident live on the stream, and it was just an unfortunate incident where I think Peter came across and touched and threw him off, and that was it really, and there's not much you can say other than that. It was unfortunate, but then again, 8 other drivers also DNF'd in that race, so it just goes to show what a messy race it was. But no, of course, Albert, had a great season with Granty in the Racing Point, and these guys are going to be looking to do the pink mess proud, and I think he's got a good chance here with Nick, who has come from the Alfa Romeo, who had a tough season, I think, to say the least. But again, we saw flashes of some good stuff from Nick there late in the season, and hopefully he can put that into season 3.
Yeah, so it's going to be a good one. That I think it's going to be an interesting one to watch. And once again, we're getting further through the field, and it's still staying very even. And I'm sure there's still some guys out there who haven't heard their names called yet. So the choices are getting narrower and narrower. So we move on to what I once again think is one of the best looking cars on the grid alongside that AlphaTauri, the Alfa Romeo. I really like this car.
Yeah, it is a very nice looking car. I mean, they've copied AlphaTauri this year with just basically swapping the colour scheme. Both of their cars have done that. They've gone from red to white to red. And it is a very nice looking car though, I've got to say. I'd be very happy if I was driving this car as well.
Yes, indeed. And so we move on now to the drivers of the Alfa Romeo. So our top 10 driver who chose this as his new team was yesterday before the race is sitting in 10th position, and since moved up to 7th. So I had a great evening yesterday despite being spun in lap 1, or on lap 1 I should say, of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and that is none other than Joseph Morados. So he'll be taking the first seat in the Alfa Romeo for season 3, and his new teammate for this season will be Woolsey. So that's going to be, once again, another good pairing. And Woolsey was, ironically, he's still a current Alfa Romeo driver. So he was partnering Nick last season, and so he's staying loyal.
He's staying loyal, yeah, and he's got a good teammate to obviously bring up the Alfa Romeo name. We saw Joseph challenge him for quite a few podiums in the races we saw him in towards the end of last season, and I think he's going to keep on going. And it should be interesting to see if he can get the support from Woolsey, who I think is fair to say had a fairly challenging couple of races that we saw, and I think he's going to want to. Going to want to make some improvements in this season, and start to get some points on the board as well. And he's going to have some good backup in doing that. So good luck to him and good luck to the team. And we hope to see him up there at the end of the season.
Oh, definitely. So moving on then, our second to last reveal of the evening. For those of you who are still eagerly waiting to hear your names called, we have Team Haas. A team that had such an unfortunate season last year. It finished last night. But last season, a couple of controversial incidents involving these cars. I'm looking at this pairing I've got in front of me here. I'm expecting some big things from this team.
No pressure.
No pressure to you guys, but I'm expecting some big things from this team. So our top 10 driver who chose Haas as his team is former Red Bull driver Osborne. So Liam's ex-teammate now, as we said. Osborne will be taking seat number 1 in the Haas, and he will be racing alongside his new teammate, a newcomer to the league. He's only raced, I think last week was his first race, and that's Rockstar. So that's going to be a great pairing, because we saw some real pace from Rockstar yesterday as a reserve driver for Renault. I think he qualified second, didn't he, in Abu Dhabi? Was it second or third?
Somewhere up there, yeah. It was very quick stuff. And it was very close in the race as well. I think he was keeping pace with some of the top guys who have been up there sort of week in, week out in this league. So yeah, fantastic pairing for Osborne as well, I think, and a guy who's been consistent through the season, getting himself that top 10 position. And yeah, I think it's definitely a team to look out for. And we saw Haas on the bottom of the Constructors Championship last season even. I don't think we're going to see that this season round. So there's the challenge, last to first, get it done, and you'll be right.
That's a huge challenge you just laid out there. Right, so we move on to the final team to announce.
Who's going to be?
For those of you who have been following very eagerly, you may well have already guessed this team. So if you have, well done for being able to read the comments and work it all out. So, but without further ado, we announce the final team, which is the Williams. Tom, one of your favourite cars on the grid, probably because it's white and blue.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
But I just think
it's
it's not my personal favourite, but the heritage. I like the heritage behind Williams Racing. So, I'll give them that. But anyway, announcement time. So the top 10 driver who has chosen this team is Mogee. So Mogee, who is once again, he was a Williams driver last season.
Loves the Williams, does Mogee.
Sticking with it. He's another loyal competitor. So we'll have Mogee in the Williams in seat 1, and in seat 2, once again, another newcomer, Tom, who did look very, very quick around, I think it was Brazil in particular, and then scored a podium finish in his second ever race with SlyDog Racing League, and that's Butler.
Yeah, so again, a fantastic pairing. It's going to make for some great team battles with the other close pairings there in this league. And you said it, yeah, we had Mogee putting some great performances from what we've seen so far, getting very close on some occasions. Again, maybe a bit unfortunate with a few incidents that we've seen. But then Butler as well coming into the league and putting some great performances in as well. Like you said, he picked up a podium, I think it was in Russia, and got a driver of the day for that. And was very close to doing the same in Brazil, if not, I think, for a low fuel issue on the very last lap. So yeah, looking forward to seeing the Williams name restored to its glory, and hopefully up there come the end of the season. And I think with that, we're going to go and have a little look at some of the cars on the track.
Yes, yep. So we are now across over to Silverstone, which I'll make that sound so professional. Where we will see the top 10 drivers in their new liveries, just to get an idea of exactly how that's going to look. They're all sort of heading around the circuit now as we speak, just in one nice long train there for us, so we can just familiarise ourselves to looking at these names in their different in their different cars. So I'm assuming at some point around this lap that they're currently on, we should see them bunching up and driving one nice sort of train as such. And I think we're also going to get Trem, who is the runner of said league, the SlyDog Racing League, sponsored by Grays Bespoke. We'll be getting him in very, very shortly for a quick chat. So, I think it's going to be a really, really exciting season, Tom.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I mean, like we've already discussed, we know that the Red Bull team is probably going to be quite strong because they've got the reigning champion in there, who's going to be up there every week scoring some points, and we're going to be looking to a couple of the other strong pairings there to put the challenge on to onto Granty Boy and Peter. I think they are probably the team to beat at the moment. But you look down the list, and yeah, there's some guys on that on those teams that will be looking very optimistically towards next season. And I think probably already some chats between the drivers if they've started to realise who their teammate is, and there'll probably be some chats maybe in the coming week to maybe just offer any ideas and share sort of thoughts on setups and things like that coming into the first race, which I think actually is at Silverstone, isn't it? It's Silverstone Short we've got first. And then I believe in the same race day, I'll just get the schedule up, I can't quite remember where that is now. So yeah, Silverstone Short, and then we're back in Russia. Russia was one of the highlight races that we saw, I think, towards the end of this season, with the crazy last lap and plenty of action in that race. So already looking forward to a fantastic race day one.
Yeah, so I think we'll just have a quick look here through, if I can just get the page up on my monitor. I'll have a quick look here. The race schedule then for season 3, as you've just outlined there, 8th of March. So not this Monday. This Monday we have the battle against MRS, which I think is going to be a really great night. It'll be an exciting night to watch. We have the battle with those guys, which we'll hear a little bit more about from Trem ever so shortly. But then we have the 8th of March, which is the following week, where we will start here at the Silverstone Grand Prix doing the short circuit, followed by Russia. In the coming weeks after that, I'll do the next couple of weeks after that, taking us to the end of March. So we'll then be racing Japan on the 15th, along with Monaco. So an interesting second week, and then following that, Brazil, Holland, and Belgium and China will round out March. So that is an exciting first month of the season for us.
Yeah,
and as we saw there on the stream, the guys did manage to bunch up all very nicely.
They're all sort of give us a little formation,
giving it a little bit of a formation lap, which is good to see. I mean, these guys have they're really good racers, so it's nice to see that sort of comradeship.
I was hoping to see the Mighty Ducks V, but we didn't obviously get that. Never mind.
We can request that.
That'll be season 4's showpiece. Just the Mighty Ducks V as they head down the Wellington Straight or something on there.
That'd be phenomenal. But right, without further ado, I'm just trying to get hold of Trem. Bear with me just 1 second. So I'll hold of him, and then we will be speaking to him in regards to his thoughts on the new team layouts, and we'll go from there.
I'm almost a little bit annoyed that they've got ghosting on and they're trying to do these formations. I actually think it would have been more fun if they had ghosting off, trying to get into these formations. But never mind, that's just me. And somehow Butters has got himself a penalty as well. So I think that's an automatic 5-grid place penalty for the start of next season, is it not?
For the start of next season.
Yeah, I thought that's how that works.
And here we go. We are joined now by the league administrator, Trem himself. How are we doing, Trem?
Yeah, not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Driver reveal is out there. It's done.
Yeah.
How did that work? How did that go?
Yeah, it went well. A couple of the guys were commenting on the teams. They're happy with the teammates. A couple of envious of the other teams, saying there's going to be a couple of strong teams out there. So should be interesting.
There's some strong drivers on the grid, so I'm not surprised. It's been a really tough season for a lot of people, in the sense that the field's been quite equal, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, even the Constructors next season's going to be probably. I don't think anyone's going to run away with it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we're in quite an agreement with that, aren't we, Tom?
Yeah, I think it's like we've been saying pretty much all evening. It's going to be tough to look past the Red Bull guys, considering they've got Granty there who's going to be banging in the points week in, week out. We expect, obviously, anything can happen, but we hope that we can get someone challenging them and another team to put the fight to them. But yeah, I think with a lot of the other pairings as well, there's two very strong drivers for a lot of the other teams, and we hope we can get some close racing going on. So Trem, obviously yourself specifically, let's have a look. You were paired up with Butters in the Renault, who we've just seen on the track absolutely spin it and smash it into a wall. But happy with that. Happy with the Renault. I mean, I was digging the Renault out on the reveal. In all honesty, I don't like it.
Yeah, I like the Renault. I used to race in the Renault when I first started league racing on Formula 1. I'd never actually played any Formula 1 games before, and Renault was my first car, and then I switched over to the McLaren.
So it's a bit of nostalgia then for you.
Yeah. I'm happy with the Renault, to be honest. Old Danny Rick, I've done the reverse, haven't I? McLaren to Renault. He's gone the other way, so maybe Renault wanted me and got rid of Daniel Ricciardo.
Well, it's always good to dream about things like that. I'd love to be in that position.
Yeah. But yeah, me and Butters are quite consistent. We're going to have to work together and get a couple of top 5s, maybe top 6s, because for me, Haas, Williams, as you said, Red Bull looks strong, and also Mercedes. So yeah, it should be good.
It's going to be a tough season. It's going to be great watching as well. This, second race week with Monaco slung into the mix. That's going to be exciting as well. So we're looking forward to it. Me and Tom have only been part of the league for the end of this second season. So for us, it's going to be, I think, exciting to watch the entire season through and see it all unravel as it happens, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to starting afresh, really, and getting the full picture on these guys and seeing who can maybe turn a season round or pull something out of the bag when they weren't really meant to, and get a feel for how these guys are going to race across the whole season, and start to get some good footage going as well. And as you summed it up, we're really looking forward to it. We really want to just get going now, but first we've got this battle coming up next week with the guys from MRS. How are we feeling about that?
Yeah, it should be fun. I mean, I always like to throw in little fun races where we turn the rules off and smash into each other. It's like a bit of a wind down, but I think with next season,
you mean like Bahrain Short last night?
Well, I'm not going to comment on that.
No, fair play.
So yeah, we normally have little fun races, but with a league battle, it's a little bit more serious. Gets us into a serious mindset going into the racing, because there's not going to be any breaks during the season. It's just going to be race on race. So you're going to be in that mentality each Monday. So I think it's a good league battle against MRS. They've got some fast guys. Lawson's other league, so he's been spying for a bit, I think. So yeah, it should be fun.
Obviously, MRS. What do you know about them so far? Is there anything that you guys are worried about, or is there anything you guys have spoken about in terms of strategy and the way it's going to go down?
Yeah, I spoke to Granty and a couple of the faster guys for us if they're struggling in qualifying. But if I go out a bit before them and give them a slipstream down the fast straight in Spain and stuff to help the laps out, because I'm just going to go for race consistency rather than trying to set fast laps in qualifying.
Yeah.
So I'll leave that to the faster guys, and
pick it up
hopefully, hopefully try and block a few guys and play defensive mode for if guys can break away, or help them with DRS and etc. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic.
We're looking forward to that. And I think obviously, the format of that is it's going to be qualifying starting from 8 PM Monday night, and a 50% race round Spain. So that's going to be it's going to be good fun. It's going to be good fun. Right, I think, Tom, we're going to try and get Grant's current champion into the party, along with B Wheeler, previous Renault driver and newly formed I've totally forgot Alpha Tauri driver. So we're going to get these guys in, as I think Trem, as the league admin, you should do your sort of little presentation, as it were, to Grant and Wheeler there.
Yeah, are you here, Granty?
I'm here, mate.
Yeah. Well, basically, I think everyone expected there to be a driver of the season, and I don't think we can actually give it to anyone else other than yourself. So, from SlyDog League Racing, we'd like to hand over the trophy of driver of the season.
Oh, thank you very much. I can't believe it. I didn't think I was going to get it.
Have you prepared a speech? You clearly haven't. I mean, you know.
No.
No.
I'm trying to get confident with a few beers down my throat.
That's what we got on Monday.
No, I'm very happy for the Driver of the Season award. I wasn't expecting it for me. I know obviously I'm a quick driver for this league. I'm very happy to stay in it. Very happy for trying to keep me in it. I'm hoping the other guys can bring up their competition and hopefully go at the same pace as me on some tracks. And hopefully the constructors now is going to be a lot of difference. Obviously me and Albert did storm away with it. Very good teammate, as I said before. I'm very looking forward to the Haas constructors, the Williams. There's some very strong constructors going on for next season.
Yeah, I mean, you've had an absolutely fantastic season from what we've seen, and you know, it's been thoroughly enjoyable to watch. And you know, we thought week in, week out, you've just looked so quick, so concise, and you know, consistent. So I think, you know, thoroughly deserving of that title, and I think it's safe to say you've enjoyed your season, isn't it?
Yeah, I've definitely enjoyed the season. Obviously, been in the party chat with the lads, you know, having a laugh at the same time. It is all about fun. Maybe sometimes going to be a bit serious with the old reports and the incidents. But yeah, as myself, it is a good laugh. Every bloke in here is awesome. You know, you could say women, but there's not really many of them around, so it's mainly blokes.
Got James.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
I mean, he moans like a woman.
Yeah. Right, well, I think we're also joined in the party here by B Wheeler, for, like as I said, former Renault driver, now newly reformed Alfa Tauri driver. How are we doing? Yeah, not too bad, thank you, not too bad. How do you think your season went? And I think, Trem, is there anything you have to say here?
Yeah, we the league admins had the chat, Wheeler, and we voted for you for most improved driver of the last season. So congratulations, mate.
Congratulations.
No worries.
Well done, well done.
Basically, I think it was your last probably seven to 9 rounds that gave it you over the other person we thought of, because Renault just come out of nowhere.
We said that last night in commentary, didn't we, Tom? I think we pinned out that, you know, Renaults were looking really good in the last couple of rounds here of the season, and you did manage to jump up a couple of places in the constructors, and also you know yourself, you managed to jump up in the drivers' championship and just nip in front of James Punt there. So, you know, fantastic drive from yourself towards the end of the season. So congratulations on that. Yeah, just getting into the swing of it and just picking it up as you go along and getting ready now for season 3.
I've done 2 seasons now in the Renault.
We're really looking forward to watching it, and you know, just whilst we've got you guys in here, we've had a chat with Trem, obviously, about the battle on Monday night against MRS. Are you guys looking forward to it? You're both racing in it. You know, it's going to be, I think, good fun. But from your guys' perspective, going down there for that race, looking forward to it? A bit nervous?
There you go, first, Wheeler.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the general consensus from what Trent was saying as well. It's, you know, it's all going to base around teamwork, just trying to communicate with each other during the race, and trying to not listen to the stream and listening to me and Tom talk a load of bollocks for an hour. Exactly.
That's like the only fun for us. Go on.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's going to be it. DRS trains for the win.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, guys, I think it's been an absolute pleasure commentating from our perspective for the last few weeks, and we look forward to season 3. We're psyched for it. I think it's going to be a season, and I think you'll agree with me, Tom. It's going to be good fun.
Yep, as we said, can't wait to get started now. We know what's going on with the teams. We know who's driving what car. We know the battles to look out for already on the track, and we know there's going to be some very close racing when we get into that first week in Great Britain short. So yeah, looking forward to it, and can't wait for next week as well. See these guys in their nice pink and black liveries, I believe it's going to be. And yeah, fantastic. They were looking very nice when we saw them. Do we know what MRS are going to be driving in? Do we know what colours they're wrapping?
Light blue and red, I think, but they're going to have different liveries.
Fair enough.
Right.
But all the same
we'll
colour.
be rooting for the pink and black. Don't worry about that.
They already sound worse, don't worry. It's all good.
But yes, anyway, we'll let you guys crack on. We're going to be closing down the stream, but thank you to everyone who came along to have a little watch and a little listen to the new SlyDog Racing League, sponsored by Gray's Bespoke Media Evening as such. It's been a pleasure. We'll close out Season 2. Get ready for that battle on Monday night, boys, and we'll see you in Season 3.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers.
Season 3. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Right, thanks for watching, everybody. And as Aaron summed it up brilliant there, we shall see you in Season 3. Just under 2 weeks to go for that, or we'll see you next week, of course, for the big battle with MRS. Thank you so much for watching again, and peace out.
Peace out.